Chew. Sco, 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 sco. Check, 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 check. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Tanya Lamper, Tanya Lamper. Sco, 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 sco. Tiny T, Tiny T. Working out a couple things there, ladies and gentlemen. Construction cronies. Crony tangles. Jonica, sco, sco, sco. Sunshine, sunshine. Hey, darling, how's y'all doing tonight? Myers Paranormal, Myers Paranormal, sound check, 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 check. Max Mysteries, Max Mysteries. Sco, 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 sco. Hey, Chaos. It's Chaos and Roses. Sco, 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 sco. TWP Popcorn. TWP. I'd like to welcome you to the House of Thrillers. I'm Scully, the author that reads to you. Tonight, we're going to be reading Misery, starring Scully and Izzy Pop. How's that sound out there, everybody? Give me a sound check. Yes, yes, yes. Sounds good. Yes. From Wolf Owls at Scully. Sc, 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 sc. DJ Tinkles, Tinkles, Tinkles. Don't skip this. Sc, 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 sc. Sound is great, says Jonica Tinkles. Don't forget to hit the like on the way in. Share it out. Tell us the algorithm that you love. The House of Thrillers. A special guest for you tonight is Izzy Pop. Y'all give a big warm welcome to Izzy Pop.
How do I follow that up?
Come on, Izzy, give us your best ska.
Ska.
Ska. Hey, Bruce, you hear that? Ska. Make mystery tinkle, 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 tinkle.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah, this will be I don't know, a 3-4 part series, I'm sure.
Sure.
We don't even know what parts we're reading yet, to be honest, on some of the smaller ones. So when you hear me go, ska, 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 it's your turn.
Hey, Life with Marlene.
It's Marlene Ska. There she is. Welcome to the show. It's really a good overlay to read to. I love these sounds and the way it flows. So,
Janica. Jenica.
Looks like she's running pretty good now.
Yeah.
Sometimes they got to catch up in the beginning. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Boom, chicka rah. Ska, ska, ska. Boom, chicka rah rah. Ska, boom. Myers Paranormal. Myers Paranormal.
Scully.
Look what Janica said. This is Izzy.
She did it wrong.
Chaos tinkles.
No, it's Scully. Listen.
Been a couple of weeks there, Izzy. Our Bonnie and Clyde. It's a little bit different than Bonnie and Clyde.
What's different?
Oh yeah. Let the hobbling begin.
Yes.
Boom, chicka rah 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 rah. Tingle tingle.
Beverly Skull.
Beverly tingles.
Tingle Pop. You missed that one.
Tingle pop.
Oh, traitors.
Traitors.
Traitors. Traitor Skull. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming out tonight, finding that time to spend with us. Surely appreciate everybody's support. All you wonderful people out there. Your brain tingling is what it is.
It's positively pint.
Well, all right. It's Squid Skull. Welcome.
Squid tingles.
We got a good one planned for you tonight.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors.
Share it out.
Tell your dentist. Your doctor.
It's Kathleen. That's right. All the best people are here. How's it sound over here? Good? It's half time.
Everywhere she goes.
Jonica tingles. You ready for this, Jonica? Ska. It's misery. We're gonna fade on in. Single cigarette. A match. A hotel ice bucket that holds a bottle of champagne. That's right. The cigarette is unlit. Matches up the kitchen variety. The champagne unopened is Dom Perignon. There's only one sound at first, a strong wind. Now another sound, sharper. Sudden burst of typing as we pull back to reveal Paul Sheldon. typing at a table in his hotel suite. It's really a cabin that's part of a lodge. Not an ornate place. Western themed. He is framed by a window looking out at some gorgeous mountains. Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. It's afternoon. Sky's gray. Snow scattered along the ground. We're out west somewhere. The wind grows stronger. There could be a storm. Paul pays no attention to what's going on outside as he continues to type. He's the hero of what follows. 42, he's got a good face. One with a certain mileage to it. We are not, in other words, looking at a virgin. He's been a novelist for 18 years, and for half of that time, remarkably successful. He pauses for a moment intently, as if trying to stare a hole in the paper. Now his fingers fly, and there's another burst of typing. He studies what he's written, then cut to the paper as he rolls out on the machine, puts it on the table, prints in almost childlike letters. The end. We cut to a pile of manuscript at the rear of the table. Scully.
He puts this last page on, gets it straight and in order, hoists it up, folds it into his chest, the entire manuscript, hundreds of pages. Cut to Paul as he holds his book to him. He is, just for a brief moment, moved. Cut to a suitcase across the room. Paul goes to it, opens it, and pulls something out from inside. A battered leather briefcase. Now he takes his manuscript, carefully opens the briefcase, gently puts the manuscript inside. He closes it, and the way he handles it, he might almost be handling a child. Now he crosses over, opens the champagne, pours himself a single glass, lights one cigarette with the lone match. There's a distinct feeling of ritual about this. He inhales deeply, makes a toasting gesture, then drinks, smokes, smiles. Hold briefly, then cut to lodge.
Hang on a second. Your voice sounds great, but I think it's a little low compared to the music, or either the music's too high, maybe a little bit. Boy, your voice sounds good, though. Doesn't her voice sound great? It just needs to be pulled up just a tiny bit, I think.
You can't do that.
You want to try that next?
I did turn down the music.
Okay. All right.
Hold briefly.
It sounds good. All right, go ahead.
Hold briefly. Then cut to lodge. Day. Paul. Exiting his cabin, he stops, makes a snowball, throws it, hitting a sign.
Oh my God, I'm lost. Where are we at?
His very first line and he's lost.
I know, I'm already lost. Isn't that funny? Hey, Susie, it's vacation at the Valentines.
Copy this, copy that.
They don't have numbers there.
All right, go down. No numbers. That's why it's gonna be hard. Stick with the program. It's your very first. It's underneath cut to lodge. Day. Paul exiting his cabin. He stops, makes a snowball, throws it, hitting a sign. I wish I could just read you around and pop you in the back of the head.
I hope we have
Scully.
the same script.
Oh my God. I sent you the script. I
Hey,
sent
Munch.
you the script.
Marie, hey.
See, this is what happens when you don't rehearse.
Well, let's see here. Cut to Paul. What page is it?
Oh God, there's not even pages.
Okay,
Is it?
okay, I read that.
I don't know why you don't do this stuff ahead of time.
Is it right there by where the Mustang is and all that?
No, no, he's not even left the Silver Creek Lodge yet. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, move up.
Okay.
His first, he says, still got it when he throws the snowball. Like he still got the arm.
I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm just not very focused. So,
Not me. I didn't do it.
oh my gosh. Okay, we did that. All right. The end, pile of manuscript, suitcase across the room, a sign that reads Sidewinder Lodge.
Oh, see. That middle part where he says still got it, you don't have that. So go to, okay, cut to a sign that reads Silver Creek Lodge. Behind the sign is the hotel itself, old, desolate. Now the 65 Mustang comes out of the garage. Guns ahead toward the sign.
Intermission.
As
All right.
shotgun. Did you find it?
We cut to Paul driving the Mustang.
Oh my God.
The battered briefcase on the seat beside him.
Let's see.
Cut to the road ahead. Little dainty flakes of snow are suddenly visible. We cut to the car going into a curve, and we cut to the Paul driving. He comes out of the curves. Look, hits him in the face. I'm so sorry.
You got some splaining to do.
Are we on track now?
Just read.
The road ahead, and here it comes. Mountain. Storm. It's as if the top has been pulled off the sky, and with no warning whatsoever, we're into a blizzard. We cut to the Mustang, slowing, driving deeper into the mountains. We cut to Paul squinting ahead. He's squinting, windshield wipers on now as Chuck Berry glides into sweet little 16. Cut to the Mustang rounding another curve, losing traction. We cut to Paul. He's a skilled driver, bringing the car easily under control. We cut to the road. Snow's piling up. We cut to Paul driving confidently, carefully. Now he reaches out. He checks the Chuck Berry tape. Scut, 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 scut. Expertly turns it over. Pushes it in. The music starts again. He hums along with it. We cut to the sky. Only you can see it. Tingle, tingle, tingle. And there's nothing to see but the unending snow. Nothing to hear but the wind, which keeps getting wilder. We cut to the road. Inches of snow on the ground. This is desolate and dangerous. Paul's driving. He turns Chuck Berry louder. We cut to the snow. It's worse. We cut to the road. It's curving sharply, dropping. The sign reads, curved road next 13 miles. The Mustang comes into view. Hitting the curb, no problem at all. Then suddenly, the road drops. There's a very serious problem, and as the car skids out of control. Cut to Paul doing his best, fighting the conditions, and just as it looks, he's got things going his way. And the road swerving down, and all traction's gone, and Paul's helpless. Skidding, and the road drops more steeple away, and the wind whips the snow across the Mustang, starting to spin.
The mountainside, as his car skids off the road, careens down, slams into a tree, bounces off, flips, lands upside down, skids, stops finally, dead. Hold on the car a moment. There is still the sound of the wind, and there is still the music coming from the tape. Perhaps the only part of the car left undamaged. Nothing moves inside. There is only the wind and the tape. The wind gets louder. The wreck looked at from a distance. The music sounds only faintly heard. The area where the wreck is, as seen from the road, the car is barely visible as the snow begins to cover it. The wreck from outside, and we're close to it now, with the snow coming down even harder. Already bits of the car are covered in white. Paul, he's inside doing his best to fight, but he's losing consciousness. He tries to keep his eyes open, they're slits. Slowly, he manages to reach out with his left arm for his briefcase, and he clutches it to his battered body. The music continues on, but Paul is far from listening. His eyes flutter again. Now they're starting to close. The man is dying. Motionless, he still clutches the battered briefcase. The briefcase in Paul's hands as he sits at a desk. What's that?
We pull back to reveal we're now in New York City in the office of Paul's literary agent, Bryce Bell. The walls of the large room are absolutely crammed with book and movie posters, in English and all kinds of other languages, all of them featuring the character of Misery Chastain, a perfectly beautiful, strong-looking woman. Misery's challenge, Misery's triumph, half a dozen of them, all written by Paul Sheldon. We cut to Paul lifting up the battered briefcase. Maybe even cost $2, but he treats it like gold. An old friend. I was rummaging through a closet and it was just sitting there like it was waiting for me.
It's nice, Paul. It's got character.
We cut to the two of them. When I wrote my first book, I used to carry it around in this while I was looking for a publisher. That was a good book, Bryce.
You're still a writer.
Bryce, I haven't been a writer since I got us into this misery business.
Not a bad business. This thing would still be growing too. The first printing order on Misery's Child was the most ever, over 1 million.
Bryce, we've been over this before. If I hadn't got rid of her, I'd have ended up writing on her forever. For the first time in 15 years, I think I'm really on to something here.
No. Misery Chastain put braces on your daughter's teeth and is putting her through college. Bought you 2 houses and floor seats to the Knick games. And what does What thanks does she get? You go and kill her?
Oh my God, I don't have the lines that you're saying.
Jesus.
I know, right? Mm. Bryce, please try and hear me. I'm leaving for Colorado to try to finish this. If I can make it work, I might just have something that I want on my tombstone. We cut to Paul's tombstone. The upside-down car with the blizzard coat, gale forced and his motionless body trapped inside the car. The wind screams. Paul's eyes flutter, then close. Suddenly there is a new sound as a crowbar scratches at the door. Now the door is ripped open as we pull back to reveal bundled up figure, gently beginning to pull Paul and the case from the car. For a moment, it's hard to tell if it's a man or a woman. Not to let the cat out of the bag or anything, but it is very much a woman. She is in many ways a remarkable creature. Strong, self-sufficient, passionate in her likes and dislikes, loves and hates. We cut to Paul and Annie as she cradles him in her arms. Once he's clear of the car, she lays him carefully in the snow. We cut to Paul and Annie close up. She slowly brings her mouth down close to his, and their lips touch as she forces air inside him.
You hear me? Breathe. I said breathe.
We cut to Paul as he starts to breathe. In a moment, his eyes suddenly open wide, but he's in shock. The eyes see nothing. We cut to Annie. The moment she sees him come to life, she goes into action, lifting Paul in a fireman's carry, starting the difficult climb back up the steep hill. She moves away. She and Paul are obliterated by the white falling snow. We dissolve to the white of what seems like a hospital.
Everything is bled of color. It's all vague. We are looking at this from Paul's blurred vision, and throughout his next sequence, there are these sounds. Words, really, but they make no sense. No, worry, be fine, good, care. I'm your #1 fan. The first thing we see during this is something all white. It takes a moment before we realize it's a ceiling. Now a white wall. An IV bottle is next, the medicine dripping down a tube into Paul's left arm. The other is bandaged and in a sling. Annie is standing beside the bed. She wears off-white and seems very much like a nurse, a good nurse. She has pills in her hands. Cut to Paul, motionless, dead pale. He has a little beard now, eyes barely open. He's shaking with fever.
Where am I?
Annie is quickly by his side. Shh. We're just outside Silver Creek.
How long?
You've been here 2 days. You're going to be okay. My name is Annie Wilkes, and I'm
My #1 fan?
And now the gibberish words make sense. That's right, I'm also a nurse here. Take these.
What are?
She helps him to swallow as Paul's eyes close. dissolved to an exterior of the place. It's a farmhouse. We're in a desolate area with mountains in the background. The house is set on a knoll. So that Paul's room, although on the first floor, is 10 feet off the ground. Cut to Paul in the room. He's not on the IV anymore. His fever is broken. Annie enters, pills in her hand. Here.
What are they?
They're called Novaril. They're for your pain.
Oh,
Annie applies a cool
you
rag
in
to
the
his forehead.
hospital?
The blizzard was too strong. I couldn't risk trying to get you there. I tried.
Did
I
you
tried calling,
call a
but the phone
doctor?
lines are down. Paul tries to test his left arm. Now you mustn't tire yourself. You've got to rest. You almost died. Cut to Annie close up. Sometimes her face shows the most remarkable compassion. It does now. Hold on it briefly. Close up on pills in Annie's hands. Open wide.
I mean, you and I have got a different script, I swear.
No. What?
We'll work it out. Hey, what's up, Nicolina? How you doing? Thank you for that donation. Sister Callie,
Hey, sister.
member to the
Hey,
Tingle.
Sister
Tingle.
Hey, King Monarch.
Hey, cha. Kathleen. Y'all enjoying the show? Hey, Conscious Evolution. Look, as soon as
Hey,
we take this
Katrina.
break, it starts buffering.
Hey,
Hey,
Pepper.
it's Monarch. How's everybody doing out there?
No, it's not. We got two different scripts. I sent him the script. Somehow we ended up with two different ones. So you
Maybe I should try to
sense.
find it real quick. Like, maybe you should send it to me again real quick.
All right.
Let's take a break real quick and try to work that out.
I'll talk to your people.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that
and
up.
my people.
This is not the first time this happened either, is it? Oh, bless me. Bless me with the script.
Trying.
It's unmakeable, sir.
Need to bless you with a fucking head.
And Sapphire, welcome to the show. There's Sapphire. Revel.
Sapphire.
Goose. Yeah.
Alright, it's sent.
It's sent.
Now I'll talk to everybody while you try to find yours. Oh, I hit pause. I'm so sorry, Uncle Albert. I wish I had an uncle named Albert so I could say it and mean it. Hey, Kim. I know you was first. I was in here first though, but I'll let you have it. Okay. Traders, Revel, King Monarch, another King Monarch, all kinds of kings in here. Oh, y'all pardon the damn music. I don't know what's going on. This is a fiasco.
Oh, this is much better too because it like stays in line.
Yeah, and
Let me see if I can figure out where we are here though.
Go down to close up on Pill's Annie's hand, open wide. It's not even a quarter of the way down.
Okay, I'm already there. Okay, hang on a second.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I went up too far. I went up to where he says #1 fan.
Yeah, come on down.
Is it where she says, that's right, I'm also a nurse here, brings the pills close? we at now?
An exterior of the place. It's a farmhouse. Find it.
I'm right there. Awesome.
Okay.
How about that, Sister Callie? We worked it out. How you doing, Monarch? My bro Scott.
Don't make me pull out. Don't make me pull out my kazoo and go to the
How's my audio sound? Everybody hear me good? Is that too loud? It should be a little loud. But...
Can you hear me better?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Thank you, Kim.
We're at the exterior of the place. It's a farmhouse with a desolate area with mountains in the background. The house is set on a knoll so that Paul's room, although on the first floor, is 10 feet off the ground. We cut to Paul in the room. He's not on the IV anymore. His fever has broken, tingled. Annie enters, pills in her hand.
Here.
What are they?
They're called Novril. They're for your pain.
Annie applies a cool rag to his forehead. Shouldn't I be in a hospital?
The blizzard was too strong. I couldn't risk trying to get you there. I tried calling, but the phone lines are down.
Paul tries to test his left arm.
Now you mustn't tire yourself. You've got to rest. You almost died.
We cut to Annie close up. Sometimes her face shows the most remarkable compassion. It does now. We hold on it briefly and dissolve to close up on the pills in Annie's hand.
Open wide.
We cut to Paul's room. He's lying in bed. His fever is gone, but he's terribly weak. We cut to Annie as she lays the pills on Paul's tongue. She gives him a glass of water from the nearby bed table. Paul swallowing eagerly, Annie watching him sympathetically.
Your legs just sing grand opera when you move, don't they? It's going to hurt forever, Paul. I promise you. Oh, it's not going to hurt. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a lot of pain. A lot of pain. Let the hobbling begin. Peachy punch, 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 punch.
Oh.
like
it's not going to hurt forever, Paul. I promise you.
Sapphire's like, is that part of the show?
Hey, Peach.
Peachy punch.
Oh God, you're making me cry here.
Oh, Paul, I love you.
No, not yet.
Oh my God, take all your thunder away.
Okay, now look. I said I promise you. You gotta.
There's Sunshine.
I saw her. I said hi to her when she came in.
Sunshine tingles.
Marie Holiday.
TWP popcorn.
Y'all gonna make me talk like him.
Tingles, Tanya tingles.
He rubs off.
Will I be able to walk?
Of course you will. I'll lie. Oh my God. Of course you will. And your arm will be fine too. Your shoulder was dislocated pretty badly, but I finally popped it back in there. But what I'm most proud of is the work I did on those legs, considering what I had around the house. I don't
Y'all
think
she
there's a
should
doctor.
Do that again, maybe. Are you gonna hurt me? You gonna hurt me?
Hurt your back.
All right, let's see. That's a toughie there. You were doing great too.
Okay.
All right, back to the top. Scott.
But what I'm most
Oh,
proud of is the work I did on those legs. Considering what I had around the house, I don't think there's a doctor who could have done it better.
and now suddenly she flicks off the blankets, uncovering his body. We cut to Paul. He's staring, stunned at the bottom half of his body as we cut to Paul's legs. From the knees down, he resembles an Egyptian mummy. She splinted them with steel rods that look like the hacksaw remains of aluminum crutches. And there's tape circling around. From the knees up, they're all swollen and throbbing and horribly bruised and discolored. We cut to Paul lying back, stunned with disbelief.
It's not nearly as bad as it looks. You have a compound fracture of the tibia in both legs, and the fibula in the left leg is fractured too. I could hear the bones moving. So it's best for your legs to remain immobile. And as soon as the road's open, I'll take you to a hospital.
Cut to Annie close up.
In the meantime, you've got a lot of recovering to do, and I consider it an honor that you do it in my home.
We hold on her ecstatic face. Then we cut to Misery's perfect face. We're back in Sindel's office in New York. The office looks just the same. Posters and manuscripts all over, but she doesn't. She holds the phone and she is fidgety, insecure.
This is Marcia Sindel calling from New York City. I'd like to speak to the Silver Creek Chief of Police or the Sheriff.
Which one do you want?
Whichever one's not busy.
We cut to a small office in Silver Creek with a view of the mountains. A marvelous looking man sits at a desk. He's holding the phone. He's about 60. He's bright, fast, and sassy, as he was half a lifetime ago. Never mind what his name is. Everyone calls him Buster. I'm pretty sure they're both not busy, Mr. Sindel. Since they're both me, I also happen to be president of the Policemen's Benefit Association, chairman of the Patrolmen's Retirement Fund, and if you need a good fishing guide, you could do a lot worse. Call me Buster. Everybody does. What can I do for you? We cut to Sindel in her office. She pushes the speakerphone, gets up, paces. She's very hesitant when she speaks about Paul, almost embarrassed.
I'm a literary agent, and I feel like a fool calling you. But I think one of my clients, Paul Sheldon, might be in some kind of trouble.
Paul Sheldon? You mean Paul Sheldon, the writer?
Yes.
He's your client, huh?
Yes, he is.
We cut to Buster's office. He rolls a penny across the back of the hand. He's very good at it. He doesn't even look while he does it. People sure like those misery books.
I'm sure you know Paul's been going to the Silver Creek Lodge for years to finish his books.
Yeah, but I understand he's been up here the last 6 weeks.
Not quite. I just called and they said he checked out 5 days ago. Isn't that a little strange?
I don't know. Does he always phone you when he checks out of hotels? Cut to Sindel, really embarrassed now.
No, of course not. It's just that his daughter hasn't heard from him. And when he's got a book coming out, he usually keeps in touch. So when there's no word from him...
You think he might be missing?
I hate that I made this call. Tell me I'm being silly.
Cut to Buster. He nods as a woman enters, carrying lunch. It's his wife, Virginia. She begs. begins putting the food down on the table for both of them. Just a little overprotective, maybe. Tell you what, nothing's been reported out here. Shh. I'll put it through the system. If anything turns up, I'll call you right away.
I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
And see you later, Miss Sindel. He hangs up.
We actually got a phone call. Busy morning.
That's the name of the character, y'all, Virginia.
Yeah.
So you got that accent down, don't you?
Shut up.
Did we
Her
miss
name's
anybody
Virginia.
out there?
She's not from Virginia.
Everybody gives Izzy Pop a big scud in the chat. Light it up.
Shh. A 3.
She's doing
3.
great.
Nope,
Yeah,
let me get
Izzy
over
always
here.
pulls in those
Oh,
big
oh.
crowds, so half of you
That's your
guys out there. Let's see.
Oh, the 3 in the chat. DJ is in house. DJ.
Field guy 316.
Aw, I love you, Nicolina. Thank you for being here.
Nicolina tingle.
Got me doing now.
Tingle pop.
Scully pop, pop, pop,
Brain
pop.
tingles begin.
Psychedelic spellbreaker. Ooh.
A spellbreaker tingles.
Psychedelic.
Tongue clicking. Work. Virginia, when was that blizzard?
4 or 5 days ago. Why?
We cut to Buster. The penny flies across the back of his head. He doesn't look at it. Stares instead out the window at the mountains. No reason. Hold on, Buster, for a moment. Cut to Paul's room. Hear Paul's voice soft. I guess it was kind of a miracle you finally me.
Annie's soft, sweet laughter is heard. She stands over him, finishing shaving him with a very sharp, straight razor.
Addie Pickle.
I'm loving this woman, God.
Addie
She wears what we will come to know as her regular costume. Plain wool skirts, gray cardigan sweaters. No, it wasn't a miracle at all. In a way, I was following you.
Following me?
Annie concentrates on shaving him with great care. She has wonderful, strong hands. Well, it wasn't any secret to me that you were saying it's Silver Queen. Seeing as how I'm your #1 fan and all, some nights I'd just tool on down there, sit outside and look up at the light in your cabin. And I'd try to imagine what was going on in the room of the world's greatest writer.
Say that last part again? I didn't quite hear.
Don't move now. Wouldn't want to hurt this neck. Well, the other afternoon I was on my way home, and there you were, leaving the lodge, and I wondered why a literary genius would go for a drive when there was a big storm coming.
I didn't know it was going to be a big storm.
Lucky for you I did. Lucky for me too, because now you're alive and you can write more books. Oh, Paul, I've read everything of yours but the misery novels. I know them all by heart, Paul. All 8 of them. I love them so.
Cut to Paul looking at her. There's something terribly touching about her now. You're very kind.
And you're very brilliant. And you must be a good man, or you could never have created such wondrous, loving creature as Misery Chastain. Like a baby, all done. She's rubbing the side of his face. And he starts cleaning up.
When do you think the phone's lines will be back up? I have to call my daughter, and I should call my New York and let my agent know I'm breathing.
It shouldn't be too much longer. Once the roads are open, the lines will be up in no time. If you give me their numbers, I'll keep trying them for you. Could I ask you a favor? I noticed in your case there was a new Paul Sheldon book, and I wondered if maybe,
You want to read it?
if you wouldn't mind.
I have a hard and fast rule about who can read my stuff at this early stage. Only my editor, my agent, and anyone who saves me from freezing to death in a car wreck.
You'll never realize what a rare treat you've given me.
Scut, 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 scut. Tingle,
Cut to
tingle.
Paul.
Curious
Cut to
idea.
Paul.
His eyes close briefly. He grimaces. Amy's watching him. Concerned, she glances at her watch.
Boy, it's like clockwork, the way your pain comes. I'll get you your novel, Paul. Forgive me for prattling away and making you feel all oogie.
She turns and goes out of the room. Paul watches her.
What's your new book called?
I don't have a title yet.
What's it about?
It's crazy, but I really don't know. I mean, I haven't written anything but misery for so long that you read it, you can tell me what you think about. Maybe you can come up with a title.
Oh, like I could do that.
Scully, cut to the manager's office at the Silver Creek Lodge. Ness, lover.
Yes.
It's small, neat one window, Nez. Outside, snow covers all. Buster and Libby, the manager, are going over books and records. Libby is an old guy, walks with a cane. Nothing unusual about Mr. Sheldon's leaving, Buster. You could tell by the champagne. Maybe you can, Libby. No, see, he always ordered a bottle of Dom Perignon when he ready to go and pay up and be out the door. No long-distance phone calls, Federal Express packages, anything at all out of the ordinary. I don't think so. Mr. Sheldon likes things be out of the ordinary, considering who he is and all, famous and all. Doesn't have heirs, drives the same car out from New York each time. 65 Mustang, says it helps him think. He's always good guest, never made a noise, never bothered a soul. Sure hope nothing happened to him. So do I. I'll bet that old Mustang's pulling into New York right now. I'm sure you're right.
But you can tell he's not sure at all, as we cut to a spoonful to the brim with beef barley soup. Cut to Paul's room. He lies in bed. Sun comes in the lone window. Annie sits on the bed, a large bowl of soup in her hands, feeding him. I know I'm only fed. She stops, fills the spoon up again.
But what?
Nothing.
No, but what is it?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Who am I to make a criticism to someone like you?
I can take it. Go ahead.
Well, it's brilliantly written, but then everything you write is brilliant.
That's pretty rough so far.
The swearing, Paul. There, I said it.
The profanity bothers you?
It has no nobility.
Well, these are slum kids. I was a slum kid. Everybody talks like that. Cut
Cut
to
to Annie.
Annie.
She holds the soup bowl in one hand, the muddy-colored beef broth soup close to spilling. They do not. What do you think I say when I go to the feed store in town? Now, Wally, give me a bag of that effing pig feed and 10 pounds of that bitchly cow corn.
Paul's
Paul is amused
amused
by
by
this.
this.
Almost spilling the soup, she gets up, more agitated.
Pickle.
And in the bank, do I tell Mrs. Bollinger, here's one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christine money.
We're so good at that. Paul's almost laughing. Some soup hits him in the coverlet.
There. Look there. See what you made me do?
Oh boy, Paul's smile disappears. Kim, we cut to Annie, and she's just totally embarrassed.
Oh, Paul, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I get so worked up. Can you ever forgive me? Here. Pills.
She hands him pills and starts to clean the soup off the coverlet. Then she makes the sweetest smile.
Oh, God. I love you, Paul. Your mind, your creativity, that's all I meant.
Flustered, she turns away as we cut to the road in the mountains. Piles of snow all around, but it's been plowed enough so it's drivable. Cars coming into view. Up ahead is the sign we've already seen. Curved road next 13 miles.
Cut to inside the car. Buster and his wife, Virginia. Virginia is driving while Buster intently studies the terrain. He reaches for a large thermos, pours him coffee, offers it to her. She shakes her head. He begins to sip it. This sure is fun. She puts her hand on his leg.
Virginia, when you're in this car, you're not my wife, you're my deputy.
Well, this deputy would rather be home under the covers with the sheriff.
Suddenly, the car goes into a little icy spin and she fights it back under control. Stop right here.
What? What is it?
We cut to the car, skidding, slowing, stopping. Both of them get out, go to the edge of the road. Mountains of snow. Nothing much else visible. Then Buster points. Look at that broken branch there. Virginia sees it.
Could be the weight of the snow.
Could be. Or a rotten branch or a mountain lion could have landed on it. Could be a lot of things. He steps off the road and starts down. Virginia watches him, worried. It's very slippery. Buster's graceful, in great shape, navigating down easily. Cut to the tree that the car ran into. Buster reaches it, studies it. Cut to Virginia, staring out after him. She can't see him because the drop is both too steep and covered with trees and mounds of snow.
Anything down there?
Yeah, enormous amount of snow.
Cut to Buster. He's moved away from the tree now, going toward where the Mustang is buried. Cut to the mound of snow with the Mustang inside. Buster making his way closer to it, staring around. Cut to the area, nothing to be seen. Everything is covered with mountains of snow. You could have a house down there and not be able to see it, just glaring white. Cut to Buster, angry, frustrated, turning around and around. And from another angle, from behind the mound, with the Mustang inside and out of his sight, glistening in the sun, a bit of the door protrudes. But, of course, Buster can't see it. Hold on, Buster. In a sour mood, staring around as the edge of the door continues to glisten. Cut to Virginia on the road as Buster makes his way back up, still ticked. You really think Sheldon's out there?
Hope not. If he is, he's dead. Let's go to the newspaper office.
As they get in the car, another car driving by. It's Annie in her Jeep. Neither she nor Buster notice each other. Cut to Paul's room. The door opens and Annie enters. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you.
It's fine. We pull back to reveal Paul's eyes fluttering awake to see the hardback copy of his novel, Misery's Child. It's in Annie's hands. She's never been more excited.
They had it at the store, Paul. There was a whole batch of them there. As soon as I saw it, I slammed my money down. I got the first copy.
Then the roads are open.
The one to town is, but that's about it. I called the hospital and I talked to the head orthopedic surgeon. I told him who you were and what had happened. He said as long as there's no infection, you're not in any danger. And as soon as the road to the hospital is open, they'll send an ambulance for you.
The phones are working?
Well, mine's still out, but the ones in town are working just fine. I called that agent of yours. Oh, Paul, I peeked at the very beginning. What a wonderful first page, just to read the name Misery Chastain.
My daughter must be going nuts.
It's like a visit from my oldest, dearest friend.
I was supposed to be home for her birthday 3 days ago.
Your agent said she would tell her you're okay, but I'm afraid you'll have to wait until tomorrow if you want to speak to her yourself.
She starts to leave, stops at the door.
Oh, Paul, what a poet you are.
As she leaves, we dissolve to Paul, watching as she enters, moves to him carrying a tray.
I made you my specialty, scrambled eggs a la Wilkes, and I'm on page 75.
I guess that means it's okay.
No, it isn't. It's, oh, pooh, I can't think of any words. Would great be insulting?
I can live with great. He starts with an effort to eat.
No, it's not just great. It's perfect. A perfect thing.
Everybody out there, she's doing great, huh, Cat? Hey, Cushy.
Hey, Kush.
Everybody's saying how
Hey,
good you're doing.
Hmm?
We cut to Paul's room. It's mid-afternoon. Annie's clearing Paul's tray. She hands him his novel. He quickly swallows it.
Where the hell are you?
Oh, did I skip ahead too far?
I don't know where you are.
Did you say no, it's not just great, it's perfect thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I cut to Paul's room mid-afternoon. Annie's clearing Paul's tray. See that? She hands him his novel. He quickly swallows them.
I'm up to page 185. I always get sad when I pass the halfway point. Will you do me a favor? I'd love it if you would autograph me my copy. I already have your autograph on a picture, but it would mean so much to me to get it in person. I know you're right-handed, so don't worry if it's not legible. I'll cherish it anyway.
Oh my God, you sound like too real almost.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't she? Sounds kind of scary, don't know? Menacing.
Oh, just wait. We got some hobblings.
Oh my gosh. Let's see, we got somebody out there in that chat. How's everybody doing out there in chat land? All you wonderful people. Tanya
80
Tingles, Tanya Lambert, Cushy Scud,
Pindar! She makes a good psycho, she said.
Pindar.
Oh my god. She said what she said? She said I make a good psycho. I got your psycho. Hey, Pixie. You see the abuse I have to put up with?
Pixie Tingle. I'm sure I missed a couple of people out there.
Be
Learn
Kathy
and grow with
Bates.
Ann. Learn and grow with Ann. Learn and grow with Ann. Yeah, you're doing great. Gosh. We're getting through the script pretty well, too.
Yeah.
I like how this flows on my phone, the way you send it to me. Everybody enjoying this?
Cushy tickled my nose with catnip. Don't get me started. I haven't toked all day.
It's sunshine. Jonica,
I got sunshine in a bag. Iggy, no, I'm not Iggy. Izzy Pop. Izzy. Nikki.
Yeah. Where's player? Player.
Thank you guys. Judas Cradles in the house.
Judas. Oh yeah, my chat was frozen up. Look at that.
Huh?
There's traders. The Judas. Sunshine. Judas. People.
Scully's okay.
Nikki Scud. Learn and grow it in. Cover that.
Thank you, Tanya. I love you, Sapphire. Sapphire. It's like sassafras tea.
Trader Tingles. That's going to be fun if we can get that production together of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Well, I know Nez will want to play in that. That'll be what we do after The Wizard of Oz. We may do the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Traders wants to. I love you too, Traders.
But, thinking about that logistically for a minute, like there's music involved. So I'm not sure how to broadcast that, right? I know you guys are a little better at that, with the karaoke's and all that. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Well,
Tiny
that
Tink.
right there. Okay. Traders doesn't even need a script for Rocky Horror. No, she knows it by heart. Feed me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Feed me.
We used to go to the Cinema Tavern and watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show every Friday night and get trashed. And you know what came on after the Rocky Horror Picture Show? That cartoon Heavy Metal. Do you remember that? Yeah, it was on. And by the time that came on, everybody was so drunk, because they served beer at this place, and you could drink beer while you watched all of it, And
okay.
What's that?
I'm gonna throw this out there. I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
It's like a thing on its own. I don't even know what you'd call. I guess you'd call it a musical. Maybe Nez knows more about that. I know it's like a musical, but it's like a movie too.
Say what? That's right, Kim. Never seen it. Never, ever. Me either. Thank you, Tanya.
I don't know that I've ever seen it sober.
Much better now.
We used to get those cheap ass $2 pitchers of beer to give you a holy hell hangover the next day, but we'd order a bunch of them while we watched the show, And by the time Heavy Metal came on after Rocky Horror, everybody was throwing up all over the place. It was just ridiculous. I mean, there was kind of a place where it wasn't like a regular movie theater. They had tables and where you could sit down. Hey, Sam.
Rock
and
opera.
everybody would get up and dance, during the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was crazy. It was like
Mr.
everybody went
Sam.
nuts in certain parts of that movie, and you'll see what I mean when you watch it. But
Mr. Sam said it was a rock opera.
rock opera, okay,
Like
Sam.
you like rock lobster.
Yeah, kind of like a rock opera, really.
Okay.
What's that? Blasphemy. Jingles.
That I didn't see Rocky Horror. Up in Smoke was my theater. Good time memory.
Oh.
Bottle caps is lurking.
Bottle caps.
Don't work.
Bottle
Oh.
caps.
I do know the songs from Rocky Horror. Love music.
Bottle caps.
Was Paul suffering from Stockholm Syndrome? Discuss amongst yourselves. No, don't.
So Paul signs the book.
Look. Oh, yeah, okay. I don't mean to pry, but I've read in 2 magazines now where you were seeing this model who does those disgusting jeans commercials. And I said it can't be true. Paul Sheldon would never waste his time with a trampy woman like that.
Well, you can't believe everything you read in magazines.
I knew it. I knew it wasn't true. Boy, how do they get away with printing stuff like that?
You'd be amazed at what some people how they'll believe things. He finishes the autograph, hands the book back to her.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. We dissolve to the window, late afternoon sunlight. Cut to the door, it opens, and guess what? Sal lumbers in. Cut to Paul, kind of stunned as this female pig skitters its way around the room, excited, confused, slipping and sliding. Cut to Annie, all smiles and happiness, laughing in the doorway.
I thought it was time you two should meet. Paul, say hello to my favorite beast in all the world, my Sal, Misery.
Misery? We cut to the pig, snorting around the room. Cut to Paul and Annie watching it.
Yes, I told you I was your #1 fan.
I'm getting to believe you.
This farm was getting kind of dreary, what with just the few cows and chickens and me. But when I got Misery here, everything changed. She just makes me smile so.
She's fine, a pig, with what she is.
I'm on page 300 now, Paul, and it's better than perfect. It's divine. What's the ceiling that Dago painted?
The Sistine Chapel?
Yeah, that and Misery's Child. Those are the only 2 divine things ever in this world.
Paul watches as the pig skitters out of the room with Annie in pursuit, happily imitating the pig.
Wink, 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 wink.
Okay, Izzy, you can do better than that.
I did it earlier. You do it just fine. There you go. That's you. You squeal like a pig. I don't. I oink.
Squeal like a pig. Anybody name that film? Squeal like a pig.
Yeah,
What's that
Deliverance.
from?
I'm not squealing. Deliverance.
I don't think we're gonna do that.
Dun 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 dun. I'll go.
Look at Pixie laughing at us.
Here we go. Here you go. Okay, now let's get to the thing. Annie's voice is heard softly. When my husband left me, I wasn't prepared. It wasn't an easy time.
I think I'm blowing Izzy's eardrums out over there. We pull back to reveal Annie standing at the window, her back to the room. In bed, Paul's dealing with a bedpan.
For a while, I thought I might go crazy.
I know how that can happen.
I don't know about you, but what I did to get through it was I drove into work. Days, nights, night shifts can be lonely at the hospital. I did a lot of reading. That was when I first discovered misery. She made me so happy. She made me forget all my problems. Of course, I suppose you had a little something to do with that too.
There's a peeing sound. Yeah, well, he's embarrassed.
I just kept reading them over and over. I know when I finish this one, and I've only got 2 chapters to go, I'll just turn right to the front page and start reading it again. Done?
Yeah, thanks.
No problem.
As she takes the bedpan.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not against marriage per se, but it would take a pretty special guy to make me want to go down the aisle again.
Well, it's not something you should enter into lightly.
It boils down to respect. People just don't respect the institution of marriage anymore. They have no sense of real commitment.
Oh, attempting a smile. There's not much he can say to this.
I'd love to stay here and chat, but I'm right at the end and I've got to find out what happens.
Well, I hope you like it.
Of course I'll like it. Misery's about to have her child. What's it going to be? A boy or a girl? Ooh, don't tell me. Let me do this right. Ooh, don't tell me. I had to do that for Catelyn.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell me. Yeah, I love how she does it.
With that, she exits, and we cut to the window, the moonlight. Cut to Paul. He's been dozing, but his eyes flutter awake as we cut to the door. It opens, and Annie enters, comes to his bedside. Paul can't see hardly, squints up as we cut to Annie close up. Her face is ashen pale.
You dirty bird. You can't be dead. Misery Chastain cannot be dead. How could you?
Annie, in 1871, women often died in childbirth, but her spirit is the important thing, and Misery's spirit is still alive.
I don't want her spirit. I want her. And you murdered her.
I didn't.
Then who did?
No one. She just died. She slipped away, that's all.
She slipped away? She slipped away? She didn't just slip away. You did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. You murdered my Misery.
And now she has lifted a chair. It's heavy, but she's very strong. She raises it and turns on Paul, and it's high above her head, and Paul realizes that this might be it. She might shatter him with it. Crunch his skull, and that's just what she seems she's about to do. Then she swings it not against him, but against the wall. And it shatters, and she's panting from the effort as she turns on him again. Her voice surprisingly soft.
I thought you were good, Paul. But you're not good. You're just another lying old dirty birdie, and I don't think I better be around you for a while. And don't even think about anybody coming for you. Not the doctors, not your agent, not your family, because I never called them. Nobody knows you're here, and you better hope nothing happens to me, because if I die, you die.
We cut to Paul, watching as she closes the door behind her. Then there is a rattle of the key. That's the sound of the door to his room locking. Annie's getting in her Cherokee and gunning away. In the room, Paul lies still. He looks around the room and listens for sounds. All he hears are the sounds of a winter night. Takes a deep breath, then begins his greatest effort of all. Force his body out of bed to make it to move. He's still weak from what he's endured. That's not the main thing. It's the pain. And any attempt at movement and his legs scream. He sags back. Lies there still a moment. Rolls over on his stomach, then tries to lower himself onto the floor. Moves his head down first. His good arm hits the floor and he's able to hold himself up, but realizing there's no way out of bed without causing tremendous pain, he girds himself and flings himself out of bed and comes crashing to the floor.
The pain is excruciating. After he regains his composure, he slowly crawls towards the door. He reaches up and tries the handle. It is, in fact, locked. He awkwardly tries to slam up against the door, but it is much too painful and to no avail. He crawls back over the bed, realizes there's no way to climb back in, then grabs a blanket from the bed, wraps it around himself, and closes his eyes. Dissolved to Buster's office. Day. He sits alone at the desk. He sits alone at his desk on the telephone, staring at the Rocky Mountain Gazette spread in front of him. Cut to the newspaper's front page. In a prominent spot on the top is what is most likely a book jacket photo of Paul. Above the picture is the following: Have you seen Paul Shelton? Buster is on the phone with Marcia Sindel.
No, Miss Sindel, there's no point in coming up here now. Everything that can be done is done. Yes, we're working closely with the state police. The FBI have been informed. Right. As soon as we know anything, we'll let you know. No, it's no bother. Call any time. Bye, Miss Sindel.
Virginia enters, carrying some files. Here's the list of all Sheldon's credit charges. Nothing after the Silver Creek. With a glance at his dour face, she indicates the photo. Any calls?
Just from his agent.
Cut to Buster. His eyes flick up to her, an almost imperceptible shake of the head. Hold for a moment, then faces. They were distorted, and they come into view but briefly, then change into the next distorted face. All kinds. There is no order to them. Young, oriental, female, male, pretty, sad, black, not so pretty, happy, white, old. What we hear is this: You've changed my life. I'm your #1 fan. I'm a really big fan of yours. I'm your biggest fan. Don't ever stop writing those misery books. I've read all your books, but the miseries? Well, I'm your #1 fan. You've given me such pleasure. I feel like you're writing just for me.
And now
it
gets kicked up at speed and all goes faster, many times overlapping.
I love you. I'm your #1 fan. I'm your biggest fan. We love you. #1, love you. Biggest love. You. #1, you poor dear thing.
Sorry. This last was said by Annie out of focus. For a moment, she stays that way. Cut to the room as it snaps back into focus. Annie is standing by the bed. It is dusk. She wears a dark blue dress and a hat with a sprig of flowers. Her eyes are bright and vivacious. Fact is, this is the prettiest Annie Wilkes has ever looked.
What are you doing on the floor? It's my fault. If I had a proper hospital bed, this never would have happened. Here, let me help you back in. I know this hurts, but it'll only take a few seconds. There you go. Comfy?
Perfect.
You're such a kidder. I have a big surprise for you. But first, there's something you must do.
I don't suppose I could have a little snack while I wait for the surprise.
I'll get you everything you want, but you must listen first. Sometimes my thinking is a little muddy. I accept that. That's why I couldn't remember all those things they were asking me on the witness stand in Denver.
Now she turns, goes to the doorway, keeping on talking. She is never out of sight.
But this time I thought clearly. I asked God about you, and God said, I delivered him unto you so that you may show him the way.
Show me the way?
Yes.
She exits and re-enters, wheeling something toward his bed. It's a charcoal barbecue, kind you use in summer for cooking hamburgers. She holds several items in her arms. Box of diamond blue tip wooden matches, can of lighter fluid, most noticeably Paul's manuscript. Cut to Annie and Paul. He watches, mute, as she takes off the grill, puts the manuscript in the barbecue itself where the charcoal goes, spritzes it with lighter fluid. The grill is close enough to the bed for him to reach out and drop the match. When I mentioned the snack, I wasn't thinking more on the lines of cheese and crackers kind of thing. Annie's looking at him.
Paul, this is no time for jokes. You must rid the world of this filth.
She hands him the box of kitchen matches. You want me to burn my book?
Yes.
You want me to burn my book?
I know this may be difficult for you, but it's for the best.
This isn't difficult. My agent's made dozens of copies. There's going to be an auction on this, and every publishing house in New York is reading it now. So if you want me to burn it, fine. You're not ridding the world of anything. We got to Annie watching him.
Then light the match, Paul.
No big deal. It's no big deal.
So you've indicated. Do it. Do it.
Matches starting to tremble in his hands. He can't do it.
I know this is the only copy, Paul. When you were 24, you wrote your first book, and you didn't make a copy because you didn't think anybody would take it seriously, but they did. And ever since you've never made any copies because you're superstitious. It's why you left the Silver Creek Lodge. You told that story to Merv Griffin 11 years ago.
You know, Annie, this book never would have survived without you. When it gets to New York, it'll be big. Oh my God, my script got cut off. Oh, wait, there it is. Hang on a second. Oh, hang on. Now I'm completely lost. Oh boy. It'll take me about a minute.
Probably 3/4 way down.
Is it that far down?
No. I don't know.
No, we can't be that far down.
I don't know fractions. Shut up.
I
It's
mean, maybe
almost
a quarter
halfway.
of the way. Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay, hang on. Okay, we haven't heard the helicopter yet.
Nope. You want to go down to cut to the matches? Paul's hands are starting to tremble now.
Yeah, hang on.
Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Or hang on, Izzy, Izzy, hang on. My first car was named Green Tomato. Kathy Bates' movie made me go on tangents. Did you find it? When you hear helicopter, you run. I duck because I think I'm too tall. I'm scared I'm getting my head chopped off.
When it gets to New York, there'll be a big auction. Whatever brings in, we can split. God knows you're entitled to it.
Oh, Paul, this isn't about money. It's about decency and purity. It's about God's values.
You're right, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll tell you what, it doesn't have to be published. Nobody ever has to see it. I'll just keep it for myself. No one will ever know it exists.
As long as it does exist, your mind won't ever be free. I think you should light the match, Paul.
There is a long silence. Paul doesn't move.
Can't you see it's what God wants?
She's holding the can of lighter fluid in her hand as she speaks. Absent-mindedly flicks a few drops right on the bed.
You're so brilliant. I would think you'd certainly be able to see that. We're put on this earth to help people, Paul, like I'm trying to help you.
Paul watches as the fluid continues to drop on the bed.
Please let me help you.
Cut to Paul, his hands shaking, almost robot-like. He strikes one, it flames.
You're doing the right thing, Paul.
And cut to the barbecue as Paul's hand appears, drops the match on the fluid-soaked manuscript. For a moment, nothing. And then, kaboom! Boom, chicka-rah. Damn thing practically explodes and sky. And cut to Paul, staring dazed as the flames leap higher. Cutting to Annie. Annie's suddenly scared and startled at the heat in the skies, the flames and the full baking heat, and
Yes.
cut to the barbecue. Sounds louder as the flames leap up and now charred bits of paper begin floating upward, and we cut to Annie, watching as more bits of paper rise.
Goodness, oh my gracious.
She starts trying to catch them. We cut to a piece of burning paper in midair, floating against the gauzy curtain. And for a moment, it looks like the curtain will catch fire. Cut to Annie panicking, racing out of the room, going, goodness heavens, to Betsy. Cut to the barbecue and what's left of the book. Paul can't take his eyes off the disaster. Annie hurries back, carrying a big bucket, slopping water as she lifts the bucket. We cut to ska.
Annie hurrying back, carrying in a big bucket, slopping water as she lifts the bucket. The last of the manuscript, as the bucket of water is tossed onto it, there's hissing and steam as the steam clears. It all looks now like a log in a brackish pond. Well, isn't that an oogie mess? As she starts to wheel the barbecue out, suddenly there is a new and different sound as we cut to Paul, head turning toward the window. Cut to Annie, taking a step toward the window, stopping for a moment. The sound we're hearing is a motor, a helicopter motor, and it's getting louder. Annie goes to the window now, looks toward the sky, as we cut to a helicopter flying along. Cut to the inside of the helicopter. Buster and a pilot are in the machine. Buster has a pair of binoculars looped around his neck, a map rumpled in his lap.
That's the Stedman place there. The only other place there here is the Wilkes farm.
Another nod. The pilot points down. Buster stares through the binoculars. What he sees, Annie's Jeep parked in front of her house. Cut to the inside of the helicopter.
That's no 65 Mustang. There's nothing else out this way. Circle on back.
As the pilot starts to change direction, cut to Annie at the window watching as the helicopter starts off. Cut to Paul listening as the motor recedes. Cut to Annie staring out the window. I do believe the winters are getting shorter and shorter every year. People say it has something to do with the ozone layer. What do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a theory. Here's your Norville. How does tuna casserole sound for dinner?
Great.
She exits. Paul takes the two Novril, stares at them, then deliberately tucks them under his mattress. Dissolves to Paul's room. Night. As Paul is finishing the last of his tuna casserole, there are two Novrils on his tray. We hear strains of TV game show theme music. These sounds are not surprising. Paul has heard them before. Cut to Annie's room. Night. It is much smaller than Paul's and filled with religious bric-a-brac. Pictures of Paul Sheldon on a TV on a portable stand. Annie lies in bed with an open bag of Cheetos resting on her stomach and a big quart-sized plastic bottle of Coke on her nightstand. As she munches away, she is heavily engrossed in her favorite TV show, The Love Connection, as Chuck Woolery extracts the embarrassing details of the couple's romantic interlude. We cut to Paul, faintly hearing the sounds of the TV. He has now finished eating. He takes the two Novril from under the mattress. He then undoes the sheet, the sheet, takes the fork, and delicately pokes a hole in the mattress, then stuffs all 4 pills back into the hole. Dissolved to the farmhouse. Coming up to dawn. Paul's door slowly opening. Paul staring at the door. Cut to wheels, seen from underneath the bed, being rolled around the foot of the bed. We realize Paul is in a wheelchair with Annie pushing him. See, isn't this nice?
Great. I've always wanted to visit the other side of the room.
And look what I've got for you, an electric razor so you can shave yourself now.
If I knew this was going to be the surprise, you could have gotten me to burn all my books.
Now, don't josh. This is a very big day for you, Paul. Here, you just sit tight and I'll set everything up.
Annie exits. We cut to Paul quickly shoving the novel into the mattress. Set what up?
That's the big surprise. Your new studio. After all, writers need a place to work.
Work? You mean write? What in the world do you think I'd write?
Oh, but Paul, I don't think I know. Now that you've gotten rid of that nasty manuscript, you can go back to doing what you're great at. You're going to write a new novel, your greatest achievement ever, Misery's Return.
We cut to Paul, stunned. Misery's Return?
I know you didn't mean it when you killed her, and now you'll make it right.
Cut to Annie close up in an almost religious fervor.
Yes, it will be a book in my honor for saving your life and nursing you back to health. I'll be the first one to read it. Oh, Paul, you're going to make me the envy of the whole world.
We cut to Paul. You just expect me to whip something off, that is?
I expect nothing less than your masterpiece.
You do understand that this isn't the ordinary way books get written. I mean, some people might actually consider this an oddball situation. She rolls him over to a table she has set up by the window.
I have total confidence in your brilliance. Besides, the view will inspire you.
We cut to the window as the wheelchair approaches it. Skies innocent of clouds. There's a green forest climbing the flank of the newest mountain. Plot of open ground between the house and the mountain. A neat red barn where the livestock stay. Jeep Cherokee, maybe 5 years old. Fisher plow. No neighbors in sight. This is a desolate place.
You just inhale that. I'll be right back.
And cut to Paul staring out the window. I guess you don't get bothered by neighbors much.
Don't worry about that. You'll have total solitude so you can concentrate on your work.
Great. Cut to Annie in the doorway, carrying reams of typing paper, pencils, pens, and sharpener. Paul's watching her. It's all kind of amazing. She hands him a box of typing paper.
I got you this expensive paper to type on.
Paul looks at the paper. It's Carasable Bond. An idea hits him. He masks it as best he can.
And I got a great deal on this 50-pound clunker on account of its missing an N. I told the sales lady N was one of the letters in my favorite writer's name.
It's the letters in my favorite nurse's name, Annie.
You fooler. Did I do good?
You did great, except there's just one little thing. I can't work with this paper. This Carasable Bond, it smudges. Maybe you could go back into town and bring me some white, long grain Mimeo.
But mine costs the most. I don't see how it could smudge.
Come here, I'll show you.
As she approaches, he rubs his thumb over the pencil mark. Well, it does smudge after all. Isn't that fascinating?
I thought you'd be interested. I'd like you to be in on everything, Annie. Not just the finished book, but how it's written.
Thank you for thinking of me. Anything else I can get while I'm in town? Any other crucial requirements that need satisfying? Would you like a tiny tape recorder? Or maybe a handmade set of writing slippers?
No, just the paper will be fine.
Are you sure? 'Cause if you want, I'll bring you back the whole store for you.
Annie, what's the matter?
What's the matter? I'll tell you what's the matter, you asked. I'll go out of my way for you. I do everything to try and make you happy. I feed you, I clean you, I dress you, and what thanks do I get? You bought the wrong paper, Annie. Well, I'll get your stupid paper, and you just better start showing me a little more appreciation around here, Mr. Man.
With that, she throws the ream of paper in Paul's lap, causing considerable pain. We're gonna end tonight when you say pumpkin, all right?
I don't know.
Hey,
what that
pumpkin.
is.
I think we're gonna
God.
finish this in two sets instead of 3 or 4. To be honest with you. Yeah, we moved along really well. How's everybody enjoying the story? Okay, that sounds good. I don't hear anybody complaining about the audio, so I'm assuming that's good. I had some audio issues with the shaman. I'm gonna have to do 2.0 on that. Yeah, I think she's coming up to that point here. Let's see. Let's kind of move on, but let's see here. We cut to the door as she slams it shut, locks it, stomps off, and cut to the window. Annie and a parka can be seen storming out in the direction where Cherokee was parked. She gets in and drives off. Cut to Paul, heaves a sigh, reaches out toward his tortured knees, then drops his head. He sees something. A bobby pin on the floor. Paul moves toward the bobby pin. Tries to. It's brutally hard for him. The chair moves half a foot. Stops. Paul strains again. Another half foot, another. Cut to the bobby pin. The wheelchair's beside it now. Paul reaches down for it. Can't make it. Tries again, he can't. Takes a deep breath. Forces himself to bend, ignoring the pain. Bobby pin in his hands. Paul inserts the bobby pin into the keyhole, begins to jimmy the lock. The lock makes a sound. We butt cut to Paul. He's excited now. Trying to force the bobby pin. He's doing great until it slips from his hands. Falls to the floor. Shit! We cut to the bobby pin. Paul reaches for it. Pain has him. He reaches again involuntarily. Cries out, but he grabs it. Clutches it tight. We cut to the keyhole. Paul's trying to jimmy the lock a second time. No luck. Cut to Paul in wild frustration. You've written how to do this. Now do it. Cut to the keyhole. There's a loud clicking sound. Cut to the door as Paul turns the knob. What do you know? It actually works. Cut to Paul trying to get out of the room, but it's a bitch. Because in order to get the lock, he had to move to the wheelchair up to the door, and then in order to get out, he's got to maneuver it out of the way of the door. He works at it. His energy's failing him. He's pale, perspiring. Finally succeeds. We cut to Paul. Hallway outside. Looks around for a phone, doesn't see one. He wheels himself over to the front door. Tries it. It's locked from the outside. What a surprise. He looks off into the living room and
Back to the telephone. Cut to Paul wheeling into the living room. Dark red predominates. It's a musty room. Over the mantel, a photograph of a 6-year-old Annie with her mother and father in front of the family car. A new 1952 Buick. These were happier times. The windows have bars on them. As Paul begins to wheel as fast as he can toward the phone, cut to the phone as Paul at least grabs for it, gets it, punches the operator button.
Operator? Shit.
He shakes the phone. It's terribly light. He picks it up, turns it over. It's hollow. Just a shell of a telephone. He stares at it for a long moment, shaking his head, the disappointment plain.
You crazy bitch.
He puts the phone back on the table. Cut to the general store. Day. Annie exits the store carrying the new paper, hops into her Cherokee and drives off. Cut to the study. As Paul enters, he looks around. It's stuffed with heavy, graceless furniture, as well as lots of coffee tables covered with knickknacks, as he, with effort, wheels across it. Cut to a shelf of books. Paul Sheldon books. Every Paul Sheldon book. Cut to Paul, pausing, looking at her collection. The only book on the shelf that isn't his is a large scrapbook. The title on the back reads, My Life. He glances at the shelf as he forces his wheelchair across the study, and we cut to a small table with little ceramic doodads on top. The wheelchair hits it. One of the doodads topples. It's a penguin, fragile looking, and as it's about to fall to the floor and shatter, cut to Paul grabbing for it, catching it, putting it back where it was. He continues his slow way across the room, and cut to the hallway. Out in the hallway, on his way towards the kitchen, Paul notices a door to his right. He wheels over and surprisingly It opens. However, this is not a door to the outside of the house, only a storage pantry. He looks around. Nothing but canned goods, potato chips, cereals, and large plastic Coke containers, etc. Just as he is about to open, or just about as he is about to close the door, he notices an open cardboard box. He opens the flap and sees all kinds of prescription drugs. Among them are a couple of strips of Novril, encapsulated in blisters. He grabs them and stuffs them into his sweatpants. Now he closes the pantry door and heads to the kitchen. Cut to the kitchen. As Paul approaches it, he starts to wheel his way around, but he has trouble. He backs up slightly, wheels forward again, but the door is too narrow for the chair to fit through. He pounds his fist on the chair arm, staring as we cut to the back door. It's at the far end of the kitchen leading to the outside. It seems somehow less formidable than the front door. The windows around the kitchen are barred. Cut to Paul staring at the kitchen door. Then, without warning, he makes his move, starting to lower himself out of the chair gently to the floor. Only it doesn't work that way. It's too awkward. He doesn't have the strength to maneuver properly, and his body tilts forward, tilts awkwardly out of the chair, slams hard against the hard floor. Cut to Paul, crying out in pain as he lands. He lies there for a moment. Little droplets of sweat are on his forehead now. He is hurting. He closes his eyes, gathering strength, and then slowly, very slowly, inch by inch, he moves his body across the floor toward the kitchen door. Cut to the kitchen door. It's still a long way. Paul, ignoring his pain, his awkwardness, making his body move. The kitchen door is closer now. Paul, growing pale, but he won't stop. And now the door is just ahead of him. And with his good arm, he reaches out and up and grabs the doorknob. The door is locked solid. Cut to Paul, close up. The disappointment and anger is plain on his face. His arms drop. He lies still for a moment, panting from his effort. Then Paul, with his eyes wide for a moment, you can feel his wild excitement as we pull back to reveal, sitting on the counter, a set of carving knives, sticking out of a slotted wooden block. They seem to be out of reach, but that doesn't stop him. He starts to crawl over the counter. Cut to the road. Annie is driving along in her Cherokee. She is heading home. Back to the kitchen. Now at the counter, Paul tries to pull himself up with his one good arm, but even though he is able to chin himself up to the top of the counter, he is still unable to reach the knives. He makes a desperate attempt, which sends him crashing to the floor. As he starts to force his way up again, from outside there comes a sound, the motor of a car.
And we cut to outside Annie's. Annie driving up to the house. We cut to the kitchen. Paul throwing himself back to the floor, starting a wild crawl back across the kitchen toward the wheelchair. We cut to Annie outside. She's getting out of her Jeep. Cut to the kitchen. Paul crawling, and cut to Annie outside, walking around to the back of the Jeep, and we cut to the kitchen. Paul scrambling wildly up into his wheelchair, starting to get it turned, and we cut to Annie opening the back of the Jeep and lifting out several rectangular boxes of paper, and we cut to Paul, straightened out now, forcing the wheelchair to move. And now we're in a race. Crazy life and death race. The cuts go fast. Annie closes the door of the car, and Paul's suddenly stuck. There's no traction on the road. Now Annie, purchases in hand, starts away from the car for the house. Paul's finally moving toward the bedroom. Annie swiftly moving toward the front door. She drops one of the packages of paper. Cut to Paul, still biting down, churning his arms with all the strength he has left. Annie's feet walking quickly across the snow-covered area in front of the house. Bedroom door. As Paul gets through it, shuts it, and attacks the bedroom lock with his bobby pin. Annie unlocking the front door of the house and the bedroom door. Locks. Front door unlocking and click. Cut to Annie balancing the bundles under her chin. She jiggles the key out the front door lock and we cut to Paul, soaked.
Paul, I've got your paper.
Cut to Paul. He wheels to exactly where he was when she left him. He at last allows himself a sigh of relief. Cut to the door and the sound of a lock clicking is heard.
Just the kind you asked for.
And as the door opens, we cut to Paul looking down. Paul's waistband, half a dozen strips of novel ominously stick out. As the door swings open, he quickly covers the novel with his hands, and we cut to Annie in the doorway. Strange look on her face.
Paul, you're dripping with perspiration. Your color's very hectic. What have you been doing?
You know damn well what I've been doing. I've been sitting here, suffering. I need my pills.
Poor dear. Let's get you back in bed, and I'll get them for you.
I want my pills now.
It'll only take a second.
I want my pain to go away, Annie. Please. Make it go away. Cut to Annie. She stares a moment more, then turns, starts for the door.
It just breaks my heart to see you like this.
Cut to Paul watching, and the instant she is out the door in the hallway, he stuffs the novel into his pants.
I've done a lot of thinking on the drive.
Cut to Annie entering the room, the novel in her hand. She is genuinely contrite.
And I'm absolutely convinced that the main reason I've never been more popular is because of my temper. You must be so mad at me. The truth now.
She hands him the pills and rolls him over to the bed. Well, I don't hold grudges. After all, who doesn't let off a little steam once in a while? Cut to Paul putting the pills in his mouth. She picks him up from the chair and puts him gently down in bed.
My genius needs his rest before he writes.
She hands him a pad and pencil.
Here, in case you think of any ideas.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect too much.
Don't be silly. You'll be brilliant. Think of me as your inspiration.
And I'd like to cut to thanking you for coming out tonight. This is going to be the end of part 1, guys. I would like to make a few announcements before we close the show tonight, though. I know, like, ooh, you just stopped right there. Yeah, Tuesday night, we're going to have the auditions for The Wizard of Oz, and I'd like to see you come out, and anybody can try out, and I'll have some lines ready for everybody, and it'll be a good time. We'll start getting that show together, and like all of the shows, there is a little bit of a commitment involved. You do have to commit to, several rehearsals and then a live show, so... And I don't know, anything else, Izzy, about that show?
I don't know.
Hey, they were
First
doing
come,
so
first
good. Why did he
serve, or-
stop there?
Yeah, well,
It's a little
been
more
2
than half.
hours.
It's been 2 hours, a little more than halfway. I honestly didn't think we'd get that far, so we'll do a part 2 probably in 2 weeks.
it's called cliffhangers. You gotta wait until the next to hear about the rest.
Hey, Riley, check out the Rileys. That's
Thank
the
you,
patch.
Danica.
The patch.
Thank you, Hat Pint. All my
Hatch
peoples
tingles.
is in the house.
Maple skull. Half pint tingles.
Oh, what time, 80?
Tuesday tingles. Huh? Oh yeah, 7 Central Tuesday night.
No. 80 says, I thank you all for dedicating time to do this. There was no dedication. We just jumped into this. Can't you
Yeah, we're
tell?
kind of doing it. Who said that?
80. Eddie
Oh,
Pickle.
oh, Addie Pickle. Okay. Pickle tingles. That's right.
Thank you,
It's
traders.
Jonica Tinglebrain. Learn and grow within. Learn and grow within.
I can't wait for Wizard of Oz. I'm ready for a big part. Well, Tanya, you're gonna
Sapphire.
audition. Which part are you looking for, Tanya? What do you think? The 80-year-old
Tanya,
pickle.
she did good in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I was wondering
Yeah,
which part she
I'll
was
be getting
wondering.
all that ready tomorrow. So
So he says,
it'll be down to the wire, right?
now, who was it that brought the wrong script? Wasn't me.
Thank everybody for supporting the
Oh,
channel
that's all
and
right,
everything
Nez.
everybody does.
Nez, just give all
All
your love
right,
to him.
Nish. All right,
I didn't
Nish.
get none of that. I didn't get
Love
none
your
of that.
tingles. What's that? Shrimp and grits?
No, she gave you all kinds of love and stuff. I didn't get nothing. That's okay. That's okay.
Working like a
I'm plenty
dog back
loved.
there.
I'm plenty loved.
Working like a dog. Hey, player. Naughty Nikki.
Nikki!
Hey, Nikki Tingles.
Oh, now Pindar comes back. Did you win, Pindar?
Pindar.
They rated tonight. The EverQuest
Yeah.
game.
Hey, you did great tonight, Izzy. Gosh.
Thank you, Nez. Thank you, Scully.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
Thank
practicing.
you. Oh, I know.
I've been practicing alone.
Well, I remember I done the script by myself before. I did Annie's, but I do a pretty good Annie Wilkes actually. If y'all want to go back, it's one of my most viewed videos. I mean, I get more views every day on that than even my new releases. So, but definitely not as good a job as Izzy.
What?
Yeah, well, I have to
You're
do the
so full of it.
female Annie Wilkes. I can't remember how to
Please
do
don't.
it.
Please don't.
Yeah, I don't want to try to get in her head right now. This story leaves an indelible impression on anybody.
Take a
Yeah.
bow. I'm sitting down. I'm not
It's
getting
gonna
up
be
and taking another
classic when
damn
you
bow.
told the story about how they hobbled people and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And some historical reference to that. Like, geez, like who came up with that idea, man? Jeez.
Do I need to read about it? Because it tells you what happened. Who did that? Remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's gonna be a classic part. Spoiler alert. No.
With a friend like her, you don't need enemies.
We will have the Shawshank Redemption. Probably, I'll probably do that after Wizard of Oz. I changed my mind on that. I was gonna do it before, but everybody's kind of because I've been having such a delay for a month because of my situation. Everybody's kind of just ready to get back with a big production. I think. I know Nez is ready to play the Wicked Witch or whoever. She always ends up with several parts. But yeah, as of now, we can handle about a cast of 10 or 12 people. So it depends on however many characters there are. Some people have to play small parts too. And some of y'all that have been in the shows before know how that works. So, and I'm having to be a little picky and choosy. We're getting more people turning out for these shows. So, but hopefully it just grows exponentially and we can, work with
And
the techie
everybody,
part of it. So,
everybody's welcome to audition.
I mean, you got like the broadcasting software, StreamYard, which is pretty ubiquitous in the YouTube community. And then you've got other things too that are becoming more important for channels as far as creating art and stuff goes. And some of the new AI art is just off the chain, and other tools that are out there. But like you said, none of it's free. They of course they give you a little trial basis usually, but they get you hooked. And so to produce it's quality work for anybody, there's a little bit of an investment involved. Um, and some of you know that for a lot of you are creators here yourself right now, so you finding out like you get to different levels with this, and as the new doors open, other things happen, and then it requires other things to you know but yeah, so, and certainly Izzy, your channel's doing wonderful. You always pull in a really wonderful crowd, and just one of the best hosts that I've ever met. So
Who's this?
you, Tinkle Pop, you not listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
Listen
What,
to
you
her.
don't...
Hey hippie. She's like, who you talking about? I'm talking about you.
Who?
You.
I heard you.
Pop.
I heard you. The vintage hippie.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Woot, woot. I say woot, woot.
Tingle,
You say whoop,
tingle,
whoop.
tingle, tingle.
I'm
One
not
more
tingling
time,
with you.
brain tingle, tingle.
I'm just having fun typing in your name here. I was going to type something mean, but I won't.
Vintage.
I won't do it.
Skull half pint. Skull. Trader Tingles.
Whoop, whoop. It says Nikki. Do I need to make noises too?
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Skull. Yeah, let's shut her down. Thank you, everybody. We love you. We love you the mostest.
Aw.
In the last words.
Have a good night.
See you on the other side.